I'm back from my holidays and Ben is back from working at his desk, and we're here to speak about some tennis following the US Open. Carlos Alcaraz winning the last slam of the year, tying it up for 2 apiece with Jannik Sinner, and he's now world number 1. The question we're going to be asking is, will he end the year as world number 1, or will Jannik Sinner take it back?
We are back. Yes, we are, for another podcast, and I can't wait to get stuck into this one, JG. Seems like a long time since we had a podcast, and
You've been working too hard, Ben.
I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting to hear, and as I'm sure everybody else is, to hear your thoughts on that dramatic final at the US Open. Obviously, you mentioned it there in the intro. Carlos Alcaraz winning the US Open for a second time, defeating Jannik Sinner in what I think was dominant fashion, and now becoming world number 1 yet again. Take it away. Tell me your thoughts.
Well, in the preview video, I'm not sure if you did it as well, but I changed certainly, and I said I believe Carlos Alcaraz is going to win the final. Just remind me, you had the same, or
Yeah,
was it not?
we both changed.
Yeah, so we both changed our mind and thought Carlos Alcaraz was going to do it. And based off what we saw, I think Sinner physically wasn't necessarily coming to that point at his best. And I looked at Carlos Alcaraz, and he seemed to be in that form. So I'm not really shocked by the result at all. It's what I was predicting to happen. Of course, they're 2 fantastic players, the 2 best players in the world. And we saw a good match in spells. It probably wasn't their best meeting. But now Carlos Alcaraz, I think the significance of that win is quite significant, because the head-to-head, aside from that Wimbledon loss, is very one-sided right now. He's taken back world number 1 status coming towards the end of the year, and he's also increased the gap in Grand Slams. Whereas it could have been even, it's now 2 more for Carlos Alcaraz. So all of them factors, I feel like it is relatively significant right now, it seems, anyway. And I'm not too surprised. With the events coming up, I think it is a really interesting debate. And that's why I said we should do a podcast on this today. Because what we're doing now is we're coming towards the back end of the year, when we've seen time and time again Carlos Alcaraz can lose a bit of focus. He doesn't necessarily play his best tennis on the indoor hard courts. He also plays a lot of exhibitions this time of year. We know he's competing in the Laver Cup at the moment. He'll then be going to play in Saudi in a 6 Kings Slam. Same with Jannik Sinner. But he always plays more exhibitions than anyone. He loves them. He's dyed his hair blonde, which I quite like.
Yeah.
So let's see where his focus and where his head's at. We've seen the blonde hair, but is his head in the game of tennis right now? Is he fully focused to produce good tennis, or is he a bit burnt out? And to be fair, I'd understand the latter. The point is, if you're burnt out, why don't you scrap all the exhibitions? It might not be a popular view, but I've said this last year as well. For me, the Laver Cup without Roger Federer, Rafael Nadal, Novak Djokovic is pointless. And mainly Roger Federer, to be fair.
Well, he's there now.
Yeah, but playing, Ben. He's the face of the Laver Cup. And what was exciting about the Laver Cup was to see Roger and Rafa play together. And I feel like everyone was excited to then see the big 3 and all of the interviews together. I don't think we're quite there with Jannik Sinner and Alcaraz yet. Of course, some of the newer generation, we want to see them 2 together, but Sinner's not there. So I just don't see the point in the event. I won't be watching it. I'm not interested in the Laver Cup. Let me know what your guys' comments and thoughts are, because I'm sure a lot of you will not agree, and probably you won't as well, Ben. But that's just my opinion on the matter, and hopefully it doesn't impact him too much, because I'm sure physically he's going to feel quite fatigued this time of year. He's not great on the hard courts anyway. And in Turin, in Italy, Sinner will be the big favourite. And that's where the bulk of the points are going to be to claim year-end number 1 status.
Well, let's not say he's not good on the hard courts, just won the US Open. But indoor hard courts, I know what you mean. He hasn't had the best in his career when it comes to the back end of the year. Obviously, he did perform at the year in the Tour finals when I thought he wasn't going to perform. I thought he would probably go out in the group stage, and he actually probably overperformed and actually showed how good he was. It doesn't matter what surface, he can pretty much beat whoever you put in front of him. I sort of agree with you with the Laver Cup. I'm not really that interested in it. I don't think that it is like, it's not bringing the eyes to the sport that I want. It's more exhibition tennis. I don't really need it this time of year. We just had a slam. I would rather be focusing on what the next Masters coming up or not, because we got the race for world #1. I don't want to see Alcaraz playing in these type of events. I like the fact somebody you didn't mention who's in there is João Fonseca. This is somebody I think it's perfect for. Somebody who's there. He was shaking as Roger Federer came onto the court. He got to meet Roger Federer. He was like, oh my God, this is like a big moment for him. He said, he shook his hand and he said, oh my God, I've just been sitting here shaking. And Roger was just sort of giving him a little pep talk and just was saying, wow, what an incredible start to his career it had. But I think that's what the Laver Cup should be used for. Obviously, you're not going to sell as many tickets when you've only got certain players there, and that's why they need the big dogs. But I think that it should be a bit more like that. Get some of these new fresh blood in there, like your Fonsecas, people like that. Brooksby's in there at the moment as an alternate as well. We've got Caboli. I think that's a good person to have in there. But yeah, Alcaraz, I don't want to see him there. I want to see him get him ready for the next tournament, which is going to be one step closer to year-end world #1, because that has to be his focus right now. Has to be the next big title. Because Jannik Sinner's going to be looking at him right now and thinking, you just taken another slam off me this year, essentially, because that was Sinner's slam. He was the reigning defending champ. He just nicked that one off him. He pretty much stole Roland Garros from him, pretty much out of his. He had one hand on the trophy, and Alcaraz grabbed it off him and said, that one's mine this year as well. So Sinner's going to be literally chomping at the bit to come back now and potentially take the world #1 come the end of the year. And there's no better surface for him to do it on. Hard courts is his bread and butter. And the back end of the year, he's notoriously good as well. So I'm excited. Like you can see on the screen here, this is currently the actual ranking points. Alcaraz 11,540 to Sinner's 10,780. But come the end of the year, these numbers that are the actual live rankings don't mean anything. It's just the race that we'll be looking at. And so I'll put that on the screen for you. And you can see, JG, how much ahead he is at the moment.
Yeah, that's right, Ben. In previous years, I think we overcomplicated it massively when we should have just considered the live race. Of course, that is over a year period, and that's where you end the year as year-end #1 come the end of it all. And looking at the live race right now, you can see Carlos Alcaraz, Jannik Sinner. They're the only two people who have qualified for the ATP finals, meaning there's quite a few spaces up for grabs, especially, and I'll pose the question to you, Novak Djokovic, who's sitting in third position. He's a big doubt. I don't think he's even going to play the ATP finals. Is that right?
I don't think so. I don't think this means anything to him anymore. I don't think we'll see him there. I think they'll want him to be there because it will sell more tickets, but I think he has no interest in it.
Well, let's see. Let's see what he does. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section. I did see some. Maybe he was asked, and it doesn't seem that encouraging. But I can't seem to remember really his exact response. It doesn't look likely for him. Lorenzo Musetti's playing right now in China in an ATP 250. If he is to win that, I think it would help his chances, certainly, because he would go into 7th in the live race. Djokovic not being there, it would really help his chances. Of course, Jack Draper out for injury now, so he won't be competing. So Musetti's in a really strong position, especially if he does well in China. But Rublev's playing also, and Bublik in Hangzhou. So there's a few points up for grabs for them guys. And yeah, the big talking point is going to be Carlos Alcaraz, Jannik Sinner, who is going to end the year on the most points, considering this was a year when Jannik Sinner was off the tour for what, 3 months, was it?
Yep, he was indeed.
With a suspension, and yet he's still in the discussion to finish the year-end #1 is a credit to him. That is insane. He missed them tournaments and yet could still be world number one come the end of the year. I would say the favourite from this position should be Carlos Alcaraz, but I have a really sneaky feeling that he's going to let it slip. And it's going back to the fact that he's playing too many exhibitions. He's not playing the events where the points are going to be there. I think the tour finals, I would be very confident in saying that Jannik Sinner is the favourite, and I believe he's going to win that event without Djokovic there too. In Italy, he ends the year strongly. We've seen him at Davis Cup beating Novak Djokovic not too many years ago. And that is the most points left. We've got 2 Masters events. We've got Shanghai, Paris, and then you've got the ATP finals with 1,500 points.
Vienna and Basel as well are sort of in the middle of all of that if they want to pick up.
I'm talking about the big points. In terms of
big
points, you've got 1,000 in Shanghai and Paris, and then 1,500 in the ATP finals. That's where the points are going to be made. And I can see if Sinner wins all 3 of them two Masters in the ATP finals, I think that's certainly enough to be year-end number 1.
Well, I'm going to disagree with you on this one because I think Carlos Alcaraz, he's built up it's a big lead. He's 2,590 points clear at the moment of Jannik Sinner, which is a heck of a lot, really, because that means Sinner essentially has to win 2 Masters and a 500 without Carlos Alcaraz picking up any points at all to even get level. Obviously they've got the first tournaments that are coming up for both of them, they're choosing not to play in the same tournament. Alcaraz is going to Tokyo, I believe, and Sinner will be playing in Beijing. So they obviously just want to be getting maximum points from those tournaments, and I would assume they probably will. If neither of them are in the same tournament as each other, you would expect them to win it. So,
but you wouldn't. Maybe with Alcaraz, you wouldn't, because there is the ability this time of year for him to lose early rounds, especially after playing the Laver Cup.
And now he's world number 1.
Yeah, he's world number 1. He's playing exhibitions at this time of year. I feel like he has got the ability just to lose a match.
US Open
and
hangover.
Not get hardly any points.
He had a US Open hangover before, but he's a bit older now. He's a bit more seasoned. He's got a wiser head on those shoulders, and I think that the back end of the year,
a massive steal from this position for Jannik Sinner to end the year world number 1, because statistically, Carlos Alcaraz has got it in the bag. The gap's quite big, but I have a weird feeling that Sinner might be able to do it. I thought if anyone can, Jannik Sinner can.
Yeah, so I'm putting this up. Just because my maths are not normally quite so good. So I thought, why use my brain, which tends to get things wrong, when I can use ChatGPT to help with the points and find out the potential scenarios for where Sinner can potentially get world number 1 come the end of the ATP Tour finals, and how Alcaraz can hold on to it as well. So it's got the points tables that are being used. Obviously, we've got Masters 1000s there, where the winner gets 1,000. If you get to the final, you get 650. Semi-final 400 and quarterfinal 200. Obviously, ATP 500, you see their final gets 500. Then we got 330, 200, and then 100. And then this is the big one, like you were saying, the ATP finals. That's where you can get a maximum 1,500 points if you win all of your matches through the groups and all the way to the final and win it. And Sinner, I think, has the ability to do that. That's the scary thing. If they're on a sort of even keel or even close coming into the tour finals, Sinner, I think, will be a favourite to take world number 1. But it's not going to be that easy, JG. It's not going to be that easy. If he has a good Shanghai, Carlos Alcaraz, let's just say he gets to the final and Sinner was to win the final, because they're probably going to meet in finals still. I still believe.
Well, if they do, then obviously it's Alcaraz becomes world number. He stays world number 1.
But if he goes out in like a semi-final, then there's a 600-point differential if Sinner goes on to win it. And if he does that twice, then we got 1,200. And then now the gap's closing. You see what I mean?
It's tough for Sinner, but I think a lot of points can be made in the ATP finals. It could be a case where Alcaraz wins maybe 1 match, loses the other 2. That's only 200
Ooh.
points. That's a big swing. Potentially, if Sinner then cleans up, that's 1,300.
Yeah. Do you want? It's given me some scenarios. If you want to hear some of these scenarios,
Go on then.
go through. It says scenario one Masters title plus not undefeated in Turin. In brackets, realistic. Sinner's results being
Yep.
winning Beijing, winning Paris, and Shanghai final, and then winning either Vienna or Basel as well if he chooses to enter it. And then it says here if he gets 1,300 at the tour finals, it'll be 3,950 points. And if Alcaraz only gets to the semi-finals in Tokyo, quarterfinals in Shanghai, semi-finals in Vienna or Basel, and then quarterfinals in Paris, and then a semi-final loss at the tour finals, he'll only get 1,200 points. And then Jannik Sinner will win by 160 points. So that's one scenario. I like how detailed it goes into with these potential scenarios. Let's have a look at the next one. Then this one.
So quickly, just pause on that one
Go
a
on.
second,
All
Ben,
right, go. We'll go back to
because I think what it highlights here is if Alcaraz gets to a few finals, he's all right.
Yeah,
He just
exactly.
he doesn't even need to win the finals. He just needs to get to a few finals and try and play all the events.
Yep.
And then he will be world number one, irrelevant to Jannik Sinner. Of course, there's a lot of pressure on Sinner because if he is to lose any of these events early, it's done for him. His chances. But that's just I actually do think that is relatively realistic. If anything, I would say we could see him go out earlier, maybe than the quarterfinals in Shanghai. It could just be a
Or
real
Paris.
freak loss early doors, or in Paris, like you say, where he doesn't make it to the quarterfinals, which is certainly a possibility.
Yeah, I mean, it's thrown up lots of random scenarios, but it's interesting to see how it works them all out as well. Like it's showing another one here, a tight path. There as scenario one. I think it's similar to the other one it showed. This scenario two, it says Sinner wins both Masters 1000s and wins one for ATP 500 as runner up at the other one. And then ATP finals undefeated. You get 4,330 points. If he ends the year like that, probably deserves to be.
But
Like
if anyone can do that, it is Jannik Sinner, I feel.
I agree. But there you
On
go.
the
And
indoor hard courts more than anything.
but this one, it says Alcaraz, if he gets to quarterfinals in both Masters 1000s, then he gets to the semi-final and quarterfinal of the 200s, and then ATP finals runner up with 2 round robin wins, he'll get 1,500. The net swing, Sinner will be number one, even if Alcaraz reaches the final in Turin. Yeah, but not champion. There you go. So it's there's a lot of elements that could change, obviously. Like we don't know how it's going to play out, but tournament by tournament, I think the Masters is where it's going to be decided. Like you said, if Alcaraz or Sinner goes out early in either one of those Masters events, I think that will probably be the decider. So it's
What's the
exciting,
next
though.
big one? Shanghai, the first big one.
Yes, the next big one is Shanghai. They're playing the 500s first, which is I'll bring it up on the screen for you. You've got Tokyo and Beijing playing at the same time. It's just overlapping. It's just a day off. And you've got Tokyo is Alcaraz, Beijing is Sinner, and they finish around the 1st of October, both of them. And then that's when the big one starts in Shanghai, the Masters, and that runs all the way until the 12th of October. There's a couple of 250s after that.
And Shanghai, they'll both play for sure.
For sure. Yeah. I don't doubt it. Don't think we'll see Djokovic there. Has he mentioned it? I doubt it.
Not sure.
I doubt
we
it.
know we're going to see him a few weeks after that in Saudi Arabia, because
Well,
then we've got the
yeah.
Six Kings Slam, which is like a 3-day event. And I believe Tsitsipas has been called up. He's just come back from his surgery today,
Yeah.
and Tsitsipas is going to be there. Let's see how he gets on. He could get completely ruined by these players, I feel.
What do you make of that? I mean, Jack Draper is probably kicking himself. What a time to go get injured. You just lost $1 million. You just lost $1 million for just being injured. And Tsitsipas has capitalized massively. He just steps in. He doesn't remember Medvedev last year. He played. What did he get? Bageled in the first set against Jannik Sinner, wasn't it? Just literally got embarrassed, and then that was it. Million. I'll see you later. That's what this tournament's a bit like, unfortunately. People are turning up for a bit of a paycheck, and all they're really hoping for is it's Sinner versus Alcaraz in the final, and that's what they want. And if they
I'm
get
sure
it,
they'll make it happen.
I'm sure they will.
Based off
Last year's
last
final,
year, we got Nadal,
brilliant.
Djokovic, we got Sinner. It was just very much
I mean,
to
I'd
the
say,
letter.
call me, I don't know, call me a bit silly, but I think I'd prefer to see Roger Federer in there than Tsitsipas, to be honest. Pop in him. He'd probably put more bums on
That's
seats if you
harsh.
get. Well, I'd rather see Nadal on there as well. Bring him on. If you put the
Don't
legends
be
on there,
silly, man.
even if it's not that
Well,
competitive, I'd
I'm
rather
glad
go
you
watch it.
mentioned that because Federer was asked in an interview about how he's been playing and stuff recently, and he's still
Ooh,
playing regularly. Same
yeah.
with Nadal, and they've been speaking, and there is
Ooh,
talk that they may start a retired tour, which is interesting, called the Fedel Tour, where they'll play with each other. Obviously, it's a bit tongue in cheek. I don't think they're being too super serious, but
yeah,
I wouldn't be that surprised if we see them two playing very, very soon. Because there's certainly there's going to be money there. There's going to be an interest there.
definitely.
Um, and it will happen. Mark my words, of some kind. I don't think it will be a necessarily like a Federal tour, like Roger's saying as a joke, but um, yeah, we'll see him playing tennis. I think
Turkey
in the
might
not too
have a
distant future.
Turkey Al Sheikh will say, "Don't worry, I can help fund that for you if you want to make it happen." But yeah, you have to come
Well, they
over to
did sort their
Saudi.
camera angle out because it was a bit weird at the start of last year's event. I think they changed it as it went on, but
It's like
gosh, at the start it was terrible.
it's miles away, wasn't it? It was it was like from a blimp over the top of the court. I'm not sure what was going on. Yeah, first time they've probably shown tennis over there, so they're just getting used to it. Don't worry, they seem to have done a good job with the boxing, so I'm sure they'll just get used to the tennis. They're doing the golf as well, aren't they? These days over there,
Yeah,
is it the Live Tour or something like that?
they
They've
do a bit for
yeah,
sure.
they've managed to steal a few players over from the main tour of the other one. I think that's ruffled a few feathers, but yeah, hopefully I don't do the same with the tennis. We don't need two separate tours running on tennis. Let's have a look quickly through some of the other tournaments. I don't think they're going to play any of these. I'm sure you agree. 250 in Kazakhstan, 250 in Brussels,
Only if
250
they
in
did.
Stockholm. I can't imagine they're gonna. Can you?
No,
It's been a
no.
hectic year. I wouldn't be surprised if we see them in these tournaments in Austria or Basel, but I wouldn't be surprised if they skipped it either as well. But it depends how fatigued they are. Obviously, with Sinner, he's been having this sleeve on his arm for God knows how
Maybe
long
Sinner
now.
plays them all because he wants to get to world number one, and if he does, there's a good chance for him.
I was going to say, like, let me just go back to the race because there's something I wanted to check. Around this time of year, there's normally Casper Ruud trying to get into the tour finals. There's probably a few 250s or even challengers. He might go and play on clay just to go and get himself a few points just to get back up. Because if Djokovic isn't there, that's another space up for grabs.
Draper's
Then
not there.
Draper's not there, another space up for grabs.
Shelton's currently injured, and he's just pulled out an event. I don't know if you saw that.
Look, it's Casper Ruud. It's not outside the realm of possibility, and he didn't do too bad. He got to the final before, so I think that
Well, he's at the
Casper Ruud.
Laver Cup at the moment.
Yeah, I mean,
He's just
Cas
beaten a Pelka.
yeah, he said that there's a lot of jokes going around about Alcaraz's hair as well. I've seen him. They're all trying to think of a new nickname for him, apparently. But yeah, I mean, he'll humble you on the tennis court, I think, at the moment. So I'd keep it to yourself right now, Casper. But yeah, looking at the calendar, we've got Basel. That one will be at the end of October, and then obviously just at the start of November, the Paris Masters. More 250s just before, and then the Nitto ATP finals, the 9th of November to the 16th, and then followed by the Davis Cup finals as well. Remember how
Nice.
big that
I'm
was?
really getting into the Davis Cup these days, more
Yeah,
so with every year what passes. So I look forward to seeing that in Bologna. Should be a really good, fun event. Hopefully, I get to see most of it. It's annoying. It's so close to the ATP finals because I think it could impact Jannik Sinner a little bit. and Italy.
Mm.
But let's see how he gets on. It seems like a lot of tennis to close the year, and if he's physically not at his best, which I don't think he was at the US Open, then it's going to be tough for him to be able to be competitive in all of them, which makes me think probably them 500s we mentioned before could give it a miss, could easily give that a miss
I
and
think so.
prioritize just the bigger events. But let's wait and see. On that, I do not think it still is impossible that Jannik Sinner does end the year at world number 1. Let us know in the comment section. What do you guys think? I'm sure most of you will be going for Carlos Alcaraz. Of course, that is the sensible thing. I know that that's the way you're looking at it, right?
We'll have a look at this. So just in case, just before everybody makes their
Look at him.
mind
What a
up,
politician. He won't answer.
I
Just
am going
dodging the
for
questions.
I'm going for Alcaraz, but this is just for everybody, just a little bit of food for thought. This is last year's results, obviously. This is what JG was alluding to. Quarterfinals in Shanghai, third round in Paris. Hasn't ever been past the quarterfinals in Paris yet, or at Shanghai. So who knows what's going to happen? Is this going to be the new, improved Carlos Alcaraz at the back end of the year after the US Open, or will it be the same? We haven't really seen any green on his career stats after the US Open yet. So there's always time for that to change, though. And we go to Jannik Sinner's one. Paris Masters hasn't really been good for him either, though, to be honest. So he was absent last year, but he did win in Shanghai, where we know he defeated Djokovic in the final.
Yeah.
That was a pretty epic final. He just couldn't live with Sinner, unfortunately. Levels to the game. Yeah, but you've seen him now. A lot of that absence.
Where's the ATP finals, Ben?
Let me have a look. Hard to
Might
find
be
it
up.
on it.
I think
Ooh,
it's
there's
up.
year end number 1 ranking there. They got that one. There it is.
ATP finals. There we go.
And
Look at
Davis
that.
Cup. Don't forget, he won that last
Look at
year as
this
well.
final win. What's Carlos Alcaraz's?
Ooh, let's go up here. Semi-finals before and round robin there. So
I don't think you're sharing it. Is it me?
this. Oh, sorry, have I not shared it? There you go. Sorry, I was
There you go.
had it on my screen.
I wasn't
So
sure
there
if it
you
was my lag, but yeah, semi-finals and round robin. Exactly what I'm saying. It's not without. We've seen it
go.
happen last year. Last year he was rough after them events. So I think it is certainly possible that Jannik Sinner can do this. And if anyone can, he can. So don't write him off, all you guys, and you shouldn't be writing him off. I don't know why
Party
you're
boy.
so big
Bit
on
of a
Carlos Alcaraz these
Bit of a
days.
party boy. He's just had his hair changed. He's had a bit of. Do you see him partying after the US Open? Nick Kyrgios says, well, he likes the girls. Well, that's another thing we haven't spoken about as well. I know it's just a bit of a
Yeah.
vicious rumor that was flying around. Don't know how much truth there was in it, but they dating the same girl during the US Open. What's going on? How much truth is there in this rumor? I'm not going to start spreading it more, but I just thought it was a very interesting thing that popped up on X, where you saw this girl, Brooks Nader, who was apparently his new girlfriend, Carlos Alcaraz, but then apparently dating Jannik Sinner during the same tournament. Is this true? Or is it just her bit of clout for her? Is she just after the clout?
I've seen a few sources that are saying the same thing. I've sent you a tweet so you can share it.
Oh,
But
lovely stuff.
yeah, I don't know much about this Brooks Nader. It's like
Me
a very
neither.
tennis name. It's like a fake Rafael Nadal, Brooks Nadal. But yeah, I saw Carlos Alcaraz with her and I saw Jannik Sinner with her. I'm not sure. Maybe she's I wouldn't trust her, that's for sure. She seems to be getting about round the two of them. But they're young. I don't think there's much in it at all.
I wonder if they've spoken about to each other, or if it's just, or maybe it's just like a little bit of an inside joke that they've got as well, that it's all going on. Who knows? But yeah, hopefully she's not just been two-timing them and playing them, and they're feeling a bit embarrassed about it.
She's
That would be the
about the
worst.
money. I hate to say it, guys.
She's about the fame for sure. Just wants to be in the headlines. What, you're in America, you're in New York around the US Open. Of course, you're going to be trying to date the two best players in the world, aren't you?
Yeah, and if you go down a bit, there's quite a funny photo actually of challengers. I don't know if you saw the scene of challengers where you've got Zendaya on the bed and the two of them saying which one. But
Exactly. Yeah. How weird.
quite
Yeah,
funny.
it's just literally that movie came out not too long ago, didn't it? And
Yeah,
there we go. What a way to end.
for sure. Good way to come back. Let us know what you thought about what we've been speaking about. Do you think it's going to be Jannik Sinner ending the year #1 or Carlos Alcaraz? I think it's still going to be quite close, and I'm really looking forward to see what happens. We're going to be back to cover as many of the tournaments going on as possible. Certainly the big ones, anyway. And another eye is going to be on who can qualify for the tour final. So maybe we'll do another podcast speaking about that. If there is any topics you would like us to discuss, even if it's not relevant to right now, as long as it's tennis related, please leave some comments in the comment section and we'll be more than happy to have a look and see if it's something we want to speak about on the next episode. We want to hear from you guys and do something you want us to talk about where you can get involved as well.
Exactly. Yep. Make sure to follow us. Give us a like on Spotify. Hit the like button on the video. Subscribe if you're new. And we'll see you on the next one.
See you then.